Good evening. Welcome to The Unknown Quantity. My name is Michael Lane. I'm your host for this evening. Tom is off and running. He is traveling back home after ISDC and taking a short break off with some friends. Tonight, we've got a couple interesting articles to discuss. Asteroid mining, the mining the undersea ocean and the Arctic. That's an interesting take. We haven't really seen a lot of that before. Um, we're starting to get satellites with onboard processing. I particularly like this GeekWire article talking about the Seattle area space industry as it relates to the SpaceX IPO. Of course, we're going to be talking about the IPO. And in a couple of weeks, we're going to have the CEO of Charter Space on the show. So I wanted to give a little bit of preview about that. And as you know, SpaceX, there were some pretty big winners at SpaceX. So that's what we're going to work on this evening. And our new friend, Christian Thompson, is going to talk to us about spaceports and specifically the Las Vegas spaceport. So looking forward to that. And with that, let's go ahead and get this party started. Nice to see y'all. Hi. As you know, this program is sponsored and supported by the Center for Space Commerce and Finance. What is the center? We champion space startups and host business plan competitions. And Tom asked me to specifically send out a message of congratulations. So I'm reading Tom's message here. Congrats to all the newly minted millionaire class from SpaceX. Now, as we know, with human nature and financial windfalls, you'll be probed, prodded, and hunted. Oh my. The Center for Space Commerce and Finance would simply like to say, which we have been saying since 2009, we have crafted stellar deal flow that's also rife with impact, which may resonate with SpaceXers who love the idea of space for good. Space, terrestrial, and humanity missions, imperatives baked into the pie. From micro grants all the way to Series A rounds, all are on offer, vetted, and investor ready. We've already introduced 98 startups to the world and have no intention of stopping anytime soon. So we welcome SpaceXers to chase us. Reach out if you have a serious interest in funding serious space startups. We won't be haranguing anyone for money. We know what that feels like. But if you're interested, take a look at CFCF.space. That's the Center for Space, Commerce and Finance.space, CSCF.space. And you can send info to that same address, info@cfcs.space. And with that, thank you very much, y'all. I'm going to bring in my good friend, Sean Key, who normally stays in the shadows, lurks and supports us in the background. But we're going to bring Sean into the conversation today. Come on in, Mike.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, how's things?
Pretty good. You know, I'm just kind of envious of Tom just gallivanting around, taking a slow leisure trip back to Florida.
Good for him. For him.
He's doing better than what you had happen over the weekend.
I was walking on the beach. It's super low tide on Sunday. On Sunday, there's a million people out beach combing. I saw an octopus, an actual live octopus, just sitting there in the shallows, hanging out, waiting for the water to come back. Looking around for my brother and his wife, and I went ass over tea kettle. I have a great big knot right here on my head. Uh, Scraped up this arm. My right leg is a bloody mess, and I hit my left shoulder, so I kind of went down. But nothing broken, just bruised ego and bruised body. So I'll be fine in a couple days. But there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. All right.
Speaking of bruise, let's talk about all the predictors that said this was a fake IPO. Let's go over our little news segment here.
You know, if I was one of those haters that was saying this is a bait and switch, this is a pump and dump scheme, I'd be feeling pretty dumb right now. I would.
Well, some of them will double down and say, well, they just got it wrong. But I think the assumptions that if you use traditional assumptions, they'll be right.
Yeah.
But this is not a traditional assumption. I mean, it's pretty much the market saying that apparently data centers in space is important.
Maybe so, right? Like, who knew? Yeah. We've been talking about it for a year now.
Yeah.
And we did start out as skeptics and then shift our perspective. So credit where it's due.
Yeah.
We did do some homework and we did look around a little bit. But
and for me, it happened whenever I started dealing with agents.
Yeah.
And then you think about it, this runs 24/7, and one person can have 10, 20 agents and manage those.
Yeah.
That's a big demand, and they're just experimenting with these right now at the corporate level. My wife, who works in corporate, she is a requirement that she start building these agents.
Right.
There's going to be a serious demand, and it's not just a linear demand. It's going to be exponential.
Right.
And in fact, I was just looking up before the show a little while ago that the rise of AI in the 3 years since Open ChatGPT, OpenAI came on, was 55%.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Mm-hmm. And this is going to be something else.
Pardon me. I don't think we really understand how, in the same way that we did not understand the internet back in 1990, let's call it, we're beyond 1995. So maybe 1997. Folks were still trying to understand what the internet was going to be, and that's where we are now. There's a lot of folks that
that's part of it too.
It's true though. It's true. You're kidding, Jason. But
there's a lot of people that are not.
There's a lot of people that are not, right? So data centers in the sky, that's a thing. And we're going to see it more and more. One of the guys on our team was at a meeting last week here in Seattle as part of Tech Week. And Philip Johnson at StarCloud said that they want to put data centers on the moon, right? Up until now, he had been focusing on that 88,000 constellation around the Earth. So maybe he let it slip. Maybe he slipped on purpose. Not hard to tell. But orbital data centers, lunar data centers, they're a thing. Lone Star's doing some stuff. There's a European group that has a tiny stuff. Copernic has some stuff they're trying to do. But yeah, data centers. And here's SpaceX. $60 billion in revenue is expected for 2026, 2027. Everybody was complaining about that 96x return on investment number, and in just 3 weeks, that number's dropped down to 30x, which 30x is still high,
Yeah,
but it's not 90. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, but and then at the same time, if you remember, right, the month right before the IPO, he announced that $1 billion a month deal with Google, or they did. And I'm like, all right, so nobody factored that into their equation.
right.
You don't want to adjust now, or you just want to
Right.
stick to this fire and just die on this hill right here.
I did see an interesting stat. I can't seem to find it right now, but half of the current investors at SpaceX doubled down. They bought new shares. I wasn't able to verify that. It was just an article I saw in passing, so unverified. But that's what the internet said, is that half of the SpaceX investors doubled down and put some more capital in, which I thought that was pretty interesting, actually.
Yeah. Well, that's.
I'd like to verify that. I'd like to.
Well, this is like where. So for this, in my opinion, for the space industry, you got somewhat of a blueprint.
Yeah.
There's some lessons to take away from here.
Yep.
Maybe we are becoming a spacefaring AI planet. And,
Yep.
and not only just IT behind us, they got deep pockets, and so is the money itself, finance. So there's a lot of people looking at this problem. And I know there's a lot of people that are still skeptical about it. I see it all the time. But physics is the constraint that you find a solution to work around.
Right. I'm gonna try to answer a little bit of Dallas's question here. I'm gonna post this up. So this only partially answers you, Dallas, but let me put his question up here. What happened to? So I don't know what happened to today's prices, so can't give you that answer. Did not look it up. I was playing hooky, to be 100% transparent. I was not doing much today, but what we do have is, we watch the Space Investor newsletter pretty often. They're pretty good folks, and they have some pretty reliable stuff. But I thought it was really interesting that I forget what these are called. These are quasi funds, and then these are individual companies. So Rocket Lab, of course, SpaceX, Spire. I'm actually not sure what this one is. They all went up. Last week, and so that's a portion of the market. Space Investor didn't look at the rest of it, so I can't give you an answer, Dallas. Sorry, I didn't look it up. I think this is something that's not getting enough attention. Everybody's talking about that 20% bump from 19% bump from the opening price to closing, 135 to 160, and it got as high as 176, which is great, but interesting. But I have not really seen any activity on the fact that they did a 5-for-1 split a couple weeks ago. Just a few weeks ago, the price was $105 a share. So if you move from 105 to 160 in 5 weeks, that should be news. And I'm not seeing anything like that. And I know that's all pre-IPO versus the IPO, but still, I think that's a relevant number that's not getting enough.
Well, you split your shares. If you split shares, you double your share load. So that's pretty impressive.
It is. I think it really is, and it's. I'm not seeing that story anywhere at all, which I find strange.
I'm pretty sure the people that are holding that are happy that there's no stories about it. You don't want to. No, don't talk about that.
Right. The first rule of SpaceX is don't talk about space. That doesn't make any sense. And a story that has completely been missed is that a new company decided to go and do a SPAC. So that's cool. This is the one that Jim Bridenstine is running. He's more of a celebrity CEO. He doesn't actually have the background to do this job, but that didn't stop him from being NASA administrator, and we all sold him short then. But here he is now being a CEO. Specifically, I'm sure they enticed him to do this. So yeah, I don't know anything about quantum space. I literally don't know anything about it. And then look at this. There's a $500 million offering, a 450 million euro offering. So let's just call that a billion total, and another 250 million euro.
Yeah.
And
25 million.
Yeah, 25 and 15, and here's this little rinky-dink one at 1.4. So,
and think how that felt.
Multi-billion. It's $1 billion week, not even counting SpaceX.
Yeah, business is going pretty solid.
Yeah,
even those little numbers just 5 years ago would have been beautiful.
Yeah. Right. This would have been the story of the month, right? $18 million, momentous, $25 million. That would have been the story of the month. We would have been talking about that for a month. Now it's not even a blip. Yeah, it's kind of wild, I think. So, so the market's doing pretty well right now. I don't even know what to happen today, so I don't. I don't have any intel on that. But I thought it was kind of interesting. You got anything you want to talk about?
As far as the market results, well, I just think that we're seeing a possible roadmap for some firms that are in the space industry to get their valuation up there. I mean, depends on how you spin it, the way you want to chase. Everybody says, well, he's an AI company, which is true, but he's still the boss. He didn't give up that much control. And I've watched over the years, he's done many different things, but he's always been consistent about his plan to go to Mars. And I just think this was just another one of those things to help him get to that process to execute.
Yep.
But if something happens before he gets to Mars, to him, I don't think the company will go to Mars. And it's hard. The likelihood is less. Just put it that way. Just because of the Steve Jobs effect. So Apple went on to be successful without Steve Jobs, but you feel like it lost a bit of its spirit after Jobs had passed away.
Right.
So I can see the same thing with SpaceX. Then again, it's a trillionaire. This is uncharted territory. So, but just an observation.
Right on. Dallas is telling us about quantum space. All right, what's Dallas say? Was founded by NASA members who developed was it HST? What's HST? Human I don't know. Servicing tools, and is founded by Cam Gafarian. He's got his finger in a lot of stuff, notably Sierra Space. All right, let's move on. We're kind of meandering a little bit. Let's get this a little bit tighter. I wanted to talk about this one because honestly, this was not on my radar. Am I sharing that? Is that sharing? Oh, no, not sharing that. Hold on. So this is from mining.com, which honestly, not usually something I'm paying that much attention to. But they're saying that the next boom is off the map. Arctic, the ocean, and asteroids. I'm like, all right, you got my attention.
Yeah.
It's a pretty long article. I'm going to post the link in the channel. It's worth going and looking at this thing. Oh my gosh, Dallas is saying the
I,
SpaceX closed at 192 today.
I saw that.
All
I saw that.
right.
I was waiting for the moment to bring it up.
Okay. All right. So anyway, so this, mining.com is not a normal part of my news algorithm. It must be that I'm connected to, that the machines know that I'm interested in asteroid mining. But it's pretty interesting. Robotics will be the next decade's metals choke point. But physical AI and autonomy are already making it cheaper to operate and explore safely in harsh and high cost environments. Um, uh, they're saying that the Arctic is first, especially Greenland, which I have heard that a couple times. Um, Going up to North Canada, same story. Um, Going out to Alaska, same story. I've never paid that much attention to deep sea mining. Sean, have you ever spent any time with that?
No, but I just think it's a kind of like a natural extension.
Yep.
Kind of like because we're grasping for straws for critical mining, critical minerals
Yeah.
for computer parts and autonomous vehicles and stuff like that.
Yeah. I did like this, and if Wes was on the call, I'm sure he'd jump in there. The seabed rule book is still unfinished. The richest international seabed areas sit beyond national jurisdiction. Under the UN Convention of the Law of the Sea, the deep seabed is treated as the common heritage of humankind, with the International Seabed Authority responsible for regulating mineral activity there. The U.S. has not ratified the treaty, and its move to permit seabed mining under domestic law has created direct governance conflict. So that's interesting. I know that Wes was looking at the undersea treaties and was pretty angry about some stuff because they specifically prohibited the ability for corporations
Yeah,
to take claims. And then lunar and asteroid mining. Lunar and asteroid deposits are thought to contain nickel, iron, and platinum group metals. The challenge is that space is not remote in the ordinary mining sense. It is remote in the way that makes every kilogram, every maneuver, and every failed component expensive. Boy, is it. So I don't think there's any real surprises in this article. I think the real surprise to me is that they had an article at all. Um, uh, yeah, so it was kind of cool. It was kind of interesting to me. Um,
yeah. I'm not surprised that came out because it goes back with the autonomous, and compute. It's just increasing and it's going to be exponential.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And that's another part of the ecosystem that we're trying to build in space, I guess.
Yeah, I lost faith in asteroid mining a long time ago, and it wasn't until my recent conversations. I watch what Deep Space Industries and Planetary Resources did almost 15 years ago, and hats off to them for trying.
Right.
In the same way that I was too early with the wrong product on my elevator before we switched to the lunar system. They were too early with the wrong product on the asteroid mining. So now, 15 years under their belt, what's new? What are you going to show me this time? So I think it's interesting. I'm more aware of it. We had Daniel Faber on the show a couple weeks ago. I spent some time with him in Washington D.C. last week.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it a little bit more of the benefit of the doubt.
Of course, we know a resident expert, Wes Ferris.
Yep. All right. let's see if there's anything else. Is there anything
You
else?
want to talk about that satellite? A satellite just learned to find things on its own.
Yeah, heck yeah. Um, yeah, where's that article here? All right, I found it, but I'm going to go this one first. So again, another unexpected news source. We're going to have Chan on our show in when do we have him on the show, Sean?
Oh, I have to give me a minute and let me look it up.
All right, it's going to be in the next couple weeks. We've already got him scheduled, but he runs Charter Space, and Fox News wanted to talk to him about SpaceX. And Charter Space is basically an insurance company focused on space. And I thought there was some interesting stuff in here. I like this quote especially. On the depth of the space economy, there's a lot more to space than just rockets. There are satellite companies, space station companies. There are companies building technology to get us back to the moon and help us stay there. And then there's us. We are a space insurance company. All we do is insure space companies on the ground and in the air. And none of that would exist without a vibrant, forgive the pun, a vibrant universe of space companies that employs hundreds of thousands of hardworking Americans. Not just engineers, but welders, electricians, truckers.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Jason. All of whom are dedicated to furthering America's place as the preeminent aerospace superpower on Earth. Kind of a badass one-liner. I like that a lot.
Yeah, but it includes everybody. I mean, this was not going to happen with just engineers. It takes a whole group of people with different skill sets up and down the socioeconomic chain to come together with a purpose.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's what you need in life is a purpose. And even though civilization might need that just to get their rudders right.
Right. Well, and that's what you just said a moment ago, is like everybody kind of takes a part of this. One of his other quotes, because they're listed on NASDAQ, because they're going to be included into those early indexes, pretty much every American with a 401k is going to own a piece of SpaceX now.
Yeah.
I find that pretty amazing. Yeah. Let me stop sharing this and let's find that AI article, because that was also interesting. And let's go ahead and switch gears to our guest.
All right. I'll pull it up. I got it.
You got it? Okay, great.
There we go. You talking about this one with TechCrunch?
Yeah, TechCrunch. Yeah, so I think that's interesting because, we've been talking about edge computing and putting the capabilities farther and farther away from the data centers, where you're actually having the compute capacity built in on the system itself. And in this case, an orbital satellite looking down, taking interesting pictures and deciding what is interesting, and then sending that information on. I find that, honestly, I'm a little surprised it took this long, but yeah, it's there, it's happening. It's going to be happening more. And Sean is saying, hurry up. So let's hurry up. I don't really have anything else to say about this. Let's go ahead and bring it.
I'm saying that, but I have a reason why I'm saying that.
Okay. What do you got?
Fundamentally, civilization is driven by its growth. And that's economics and everything. Mm-hmm. But there is a crisis that's coming on about 20 years. Is the birth rates are reducing. Are shrinking around the globe. That's going to have a crunch on us eventually. And because the space industry is still a peripheral industry, it's part of the value chain, it's going to get hit harder than some of the other industries. So I'd rather make as much hay as we can now and get a good foothold before that crunch comes.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of my theory right there. Like now I know what my 5-year picture is versus my 25-year picture is.
Okay. All right. It's resources.
This really is. It's resources. Well, what happens is that you don't have as much demand.
Yeah. Okay.
And eventually all value chains go down to us, the individual. If you have less individuals, you have less demand to feed the value chain.
Okay. All right. I'll buy that. Let's bring in our guest. Let's chat with our guest.
Let me pull him up here. We just lost him. Oh, there we go. All right, here we go. Hey, Christian, how you doing?
Doing absolutely fantastic. Thank you for having me here.
Happy to have you. Happy to have you. We are still dealing with a little bit of lag. We tried to, we're telling our audience, we tried troubleshooting it before the show. Listen to his words. His audio is a little bit off sync from his video, but you know what? That's what makes live shows awesome, is that kind of, the jump through the hurdles that we have to jump through. We
Absolutely.
like having live shows, so yeah.
The show must go on, gentlemen.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I'll fix it for the next one. That's good. But my name's Christian. I'm currently helping out with the Las Vegas Spaceport project here in Las Vegas, and I help out as marketing and all kinds of cool stuff. So, which is absolutely awesome.
Well, I want to start with a little bit about your origin story. First, you individually. And then when you came on to the channel in the back room, you were talking a little bit about how you got involved with this thing in the first place. So first your own origin story, and then the ports story.
Absolutely. So when I turned 18, funny enough, I partnered up with Mishimoto for racing and all sorts of cool stuff like that. And then started doing that for a while. Went into Garage Kings, got invited to do that. I noticed how in the sector, my mentor, Jay, he actually introduced me and mentored me of actually how to do business. So I was really excited there. I've known the Bloom family since I was 15, because I went to school with his son. So that's my little background. Pretty much taught me some really cool stuff about how to do business, things of that nature. So shout out to him as well. He's actually the one that helped me get started.
Nice.
Yeah, really cool person. But yeah, moving forward, I've built different AI systems. Like, for example, I helped out with Bear Paw Shoes with Tom Romeo, helped him with that. We made an AI infrastructure system. That was awesome. It was cool. We partnered up with, or we had somebody that used to work at Red Bull and helped us out there too. That was awesome.
Cool.
I've done warehouse integrated software systems. And I noticed from a shift, instead of going into racing, I started noticing I wanted to get more into AI automation. I wanted to learn.
Okay.
And funny enough, I'm actually a college dropout. So that's pretty cool there. So that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Did language for college. That's what I did, which was language and automotive. That was my first. And I only did that for like a whole year. And then I was like,
Nah.
So that was fun. But yeah, that's a little bit about my other part of my background.
How do you jump from, well, first of all, tell a story about driving race cars, because honestly, that's pretty badass, and we don't get a lot of race car drivers on this show.
Yeah.
But how do you jump from that to space? Because that's an unusual
Of course.
leap. So
it is a very unusual leap. So racing has always been I'm super skilled in that. Like racing with the Porsche Carrera GT3s, things of that nature. So that was fun. But I noticed that there was this, I met with, it was back in 2000, in 19, around that time, I noticed that there was this huge boom going on with space. So I talked with somebody that I know, which is Marty, and I was at a party, and he was telling me about how space is going to be the new evolution, new pioneer, things of that nature. You might want to shift into a certain sector. So, and that was at one of my mentors' parties. And
is that the Jay Bloom guy you were talking about a minute ago,
correct,
or somebody else?
absolutely. No, same guy. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. He helps the community here in Vegas. So yeah, so went from there, and I was like, okay, Marty, sounds good. So let me look into that. So I did, and so I studied and stuff like that privately. But when Robert Lauer opened up his spaceport project, and I saw it on the news and stuff, I was like, holy crap, this is going to be huge. How can I? And I was like, I can actually help with that project, right?
Okay.
Because of the contacts and connections that I have. So I just called him. I said, hey, saw your ad. Need any help? Because I have a bunch of people that could possibly help you guys. And he was like, what? Who are you? He was like, what's going on here? Like, is this you lying or something? I was like, no. Here's my background. This is what I do. Stuff like that. I'm a huge problem solver in that. Just depends on what it is. And I just don't give up. I always find new creative ways to tackle such tasks.
Right on.
Yep. So I did that.
No real space background at all. Just drive and ambition.
Yeah, I just
and a vision.
Just willpower.
Absolute willpower. And what I love about it is, yes, racing on the shift level is awesome, but being able to build a bridge between, essentially, of an airline system that can go all the way up to space and back, I already knew that was going to be a huge hit.
Mm-hmm.
From what I noticed too, in the last 5 years, there has been a huge pioneer system overload that's been happening in the market. Like, for example, SpaceX went public. That's absolutely awesome. I know he's been wanting to do that for a long time. And then you have multiple different companies getting involved in that. But before, talking about putting a hotel or infrastructure on the moon was mental. You're crazy. There's something wrong with you,
Yeah. We know. We've very well for a long time. So you're preaching to the choir here. This whole industry has been built on the sweat and blood and tears and time of this entrepreneurial community that's been here for 25 years, but it's only just now getting attention, getting recognition, getting capitalized. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
And you know what's really cool too is that in there was an executive order that was done. So this is going to be awesome. It's already happened. It did it last year, and that was spaceport development. Yep. So the number is spaceport development 1433.5, and then the other one, an extension to that, was on December 18th of 2025, and then it deals with lunar infrastructure.
Mm-hmm.
Like, huge.
Yeah, it is, and well, let's talk about spaceports for a second. So, one of our friends is Tom Murata. He runs the spaceport company out in the East Coast, focusing
Mississippi.
on
It's in the Gulf.
Mississippi. Yep, he's focusing on launch at sea. Up here in Washington State, where I am, there's talk about building a spaceport. You just had Blue Origin very dramatically point out how fragile the port system is. And last year, SpaceX blew its own port up. So spaceports is the weak link in the industry right now. So talk about your port. What are you doing? Why are you doing it? Why Vegas? Because other people are going to ask that question.
True. Yeah, the reason why Robert's vision, he just wants to make zero G gravities. He wants to do a whole bunch of stuff. So it's going to be very interesting, especially because Rob also wants to make, satellites, people to connect and help with law enforcement, stuff like that. So it's a very community driven system. And the reason why I got involved in that is basically based on that. I wanted to see where we can hit and where we can move forward. And because it's such a very it's starting to become a more tapped market, but before it wasn't. And spaceports, from what I actually see deliberately on the economic side, is instead of you using rockets at some point, you can actually use space planes, right? So space planes, they have not really developed it as much. Back in the 70s and 80s, they kind of put on the shelf. Now we're reintroducing that, and it's going to be huge. Using hydrogen systems, things of that nature, some type of rocket propulsion, things of that nature. And essentially, you can absolutely go from one place to another and just either within an hour or so, instead of taking 17 hours,
Right.
like going from there. And what I also find interesting is because it's still new and untapped, right? It's very uncharted territory as well. And what I find awesome about it is you got to look at it as like what you guys were discussing earlier, the first pioneer of the internet, or Apple computers when Steve Jobs was building his system at the time with his team, in his garage. And those type of pioneers, this will absolutely shift the core on how we actually travel. That's the way I see it, because based on every other spaceport, it was only for the military. Now we're able to use it for commercial use. It's huge, absolutely huge.
Our normal host, Tom Olson, and I, we were both on the tarmac in Mojave when the X Prize was won back in, what was it, 2004, I think.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then that moment, we knew that there was going to be point-to-point suborbital, the ability to fly horizontal takeoff, get somewhere, anywhere in the world, call it 45 minutes to an hour. It's a remarkable capability. I don't know if you saw that, what Sean put up on the screen about that Dallas posted, but yeah, Dawn Aerospace is a great example of the ability to launch small cargoes, small payloads. They will eventually have a human raid system. So you're talking about Virgin, Dawn, Sierra Space. Who's that one out in England? There's one that's Skyrora, maybe.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it is Skyrora. I think it's Skyrora.
And then Jason was asking, who is going to be the anchor tenant in Nevada
for the Las Vegas spaceport?
Yes.
Okay, so Rob has full operations with that. So, and then we have many other different people on the board. For example, Colonel Dagger's on there. We have Joe Hernandez, which he was in a movie. Oh, is it called 1 Million Mile Away? When he was really persistent to work into NASA. We have that person on the team. And then I'm also on the team as well. And the reason I mention that is because we're a very interesting team, so that's awesome. And the way that we're moving and move forward. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, I mean, do you have like a partner or a sister port on the other side of the ocean, like in say in Tokyo or New Zealand or in Africa or in Europe? You know,
No, not that I know of.
kind of leverage a start of a network, so to speak.
I mean, we're looking into building other systems, like other spaceports in the future as well. Like we're willing to expand. That's going to be interesting.
Yeah. Now,
Like
will
we're
you
talking
also
to people from the AOE.
will you also have a vertical takeoff eventually?
Yeah. Oh
Okay.
yeah. That's our main. And you know what's interesting too is that once more technology comes to advancement, which is that won't take long at all. Well, you can essentially mine on the moon,
Right.
which and the reason for that, or asteroid mining, is because here's the huge thing. When it comes to lunar mining in general, whoever gets to do that first gets to control the market. Now that's crazy, right? So you got like, so now it's like the diamond industry. That's the part where it's going to be interesting.
We're going to be the bears.
The bears, yeah. Go ahead.
No, I'm just like, just saying it is just mind-boggling.
Right. The reason that Sean was asking about, do you have a partner spaceport that you're working with? The idea of, point-to-point suborbital where it takes 45 minutes to get anywhere in the world, like that's been straight out of science fiction for a long time. The tech is getting developed, but you need somewhere to land, right? You need somewhere to land, and that's is why the Emirates partnered with Burt Rutan right immediately after the X Prize was won.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like over in near Pahrump, we have 240 acres Rob has, and we have FAA approval for the runway. We have, other compliance as well. So that was a huge hit. That happened in 2024 to be exact, and early on in the stages. So that part's awesome. And the fact that we can actually build a facility out there that's, away from the public, but also enough to where people can actually see it and participate is fantastic as well. And then the other
been a long time since I've been to Vegas. How far is Pahrump? I know it is a name, but I don't know where it is.
It's still, the facility's still in Clark County, but it's about, if you fly, it's about maybe 6-7 minutes, something like that. And then to drive is, a good amount. We're gonna have shuttles and things of that nature, especially for the Upwind project. Now that's going to be interesting. We're making an air taxi service to help compete or combat traffic. So that's going to be awesome. That's going to be over on Russell Road.
I just looked it up. It's about an hour. It's about an hour from downtown Vegas. Right on.
Correct.
Right on the California.
I was thinking about the fly.
Yeah. Okay. It's right on the California border. That's what I was trying to figure out. So it's super easy to get to if you're in LA, for example. Take a short, because that's a choice people are going to make, right? Instead of going from LA to Tokyo and having it be a 15-hour trip, they're going to take an hour to Vegas and then an hour to Tokyo, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, eventually Oh, go on.
I said, if you had a deep enough pocket, I would do it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Eventually, it's going to be relative, like in the next 25 years, for example, from what I see, is that it's going to be the norm to go from here or wherever to your hotel in space, like mid-orbit or upper orbit, even all the way into space, like on the moon and things of that nature. So that is going to be a huge, and it's going to be normalized.
Yeah.
Right
Yeah.
now, a lot of people are still skeptical, as they should, because it's new.
Yeah.
It's
What's
just like the beginning of the cars.
What's your role? What's your role as a marketing officer? How do you tell that story? How do you get people involved? What do you do? What does your day look like?
My day, well, I wake up at 4 a.m. every day, regardless I'm tired or not. And I look through my emails and then get my coffee and all that good stuff. But realistically, what I also do, which is awesome, is I share the story on what Rob's vision is and where it can be headed, most importantly, when it comes to the spaceports in general.
Mm-hmm.
We're at a time, and I always say imagine, because you have to physically, before you can physically touch it, before you can physically be there, you have to imagine where the road is going to be.
Yep.
And once you figure that road out and you get all the stuff lined up that is absolutely has happened and will continue to happen, it's going to be like that. You're going to be like, whoa, hey, I'm over here.
Right.
I'm over there. It's only going to be a short period of time. And it's a whole new type of pioneer. That's the system for it, really. That's what I love about it.
So a follow-up question is, when are you guys going to break ground?
Right now, we do have some investors. I just can't disclose on what the process is going to be. But there's a person, an individual, super cool guy. We've known him for quite some time. He's flying in soon to look at what we actually have going on, and we'll see what happens next. So that's going to be cool.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, we're expected to break down very shortly. That's my predictions. That's just, yep.
Okay, well, we're going to ask the 5 and 25-year questions here in a few minutes, but so you don't really have an anchor customer. You don't have a client that has said, we want to set up shop there. That's right?
Well, the only thing I can say is that there's just things moving along. We're still looking for other investors, yes. We're still in very interesting stages, I wish I could say more because of the agreements that I have, like NDAs, things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
But I can definitely assure that things are absolutely moving along and as they should be. This is more of a marathon than a sprint.
We all know that.
Yeah.
We all understand that.
But a marathon can have a sprint moment in it.
Yeah. So it comes down to, like a lot of things, it comes down to capital and partners and technology. What kind of services are y'all going to offer at the airport, at the spaceport?
Yeah, the executive airport. Yeah, we're going to be offering hangars, all sorts of different things, people to enjoy. It's going to be a very interesting system. We're using it. We're also building in the future as well, in the near future, after this is done. We're going to be building STEM school systems, for people with pilots, things of that nature. It's just an endless I call it a multi-tool for people to build and grow in an innovation hub. That's where we're headed. And I know that other places are doing the same thing. We're just slightly different. We're all in the same space together. And the fact that we're able to do something unique is awesome, especially the spaceport. Like, we're getting everything lined up for that as well. So it's going to be awesome. I'm looking forward to it, especially because, Robert Lauer and the rest of the team have been so generous into putting me on for such a long time.
Right.
which is crazy to think about it. It's been 3 years and 7 months. It's mental. I can't believe that I've been working on this for this long and building and creating opportunities with people. I mean, for example, I got invited to Jet Zero's hangar a couple months ago. That was interesting.
I bet. Have you been out to Mojave? It's not
I
far.
have.
Yeah.
No, it's not far at all. There's oh man, I've met so many people in the space industry. It's nuts. Like, for example, I went to this other hangar. It was over in Arizona. Went there for a little bit, and I had to sign an NDA before even going there.
Sure. Yeah.
And the people there were amazing.
Where'd you go?
It was over at a hangar near the airport in Arizona.
Okay.
It didn't have a name or anything. It just they're like, "Hey, you want to spontaneously fly over here and check out what we got going on?" And I'm like, "Sure. Maybe you can meet some people along the way." And I was like, "Okay." And then after that, we're gonna go over to New York, so you might want to go over there too. And I was like, "Oh, okay." So we went to 2 different places within a couple of days. So it was fun. It was very fun.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Space nerds are cool. We like space nerds.
I mean, I met Bobby as well. He's cool. He's been helping along the way as well. He has a company named Som. Really cool guy. Best guy. Just like people here, you know. Can't really, what is it? Sean Key, fantastic dude.
Yep.
And
Michael, yeah.
Michael, fantastic. I'm like trying to look at my phone for a second. But yeah, Michael, you're doing fantastic as well. And I do appreciate it, seriously. You know, there's a lot of people that we need to just build and excel, because that's what this is all about, really. It's building, excelling, making sure that we can build that vision and go from one place to another.
We've only got 3 minutes left. Give us your 5-year vision about the spaceport, and then your 25-year vision.
Yeah, my personal vision for within 5 years. In 5 years, it's no. I just do deep thought. No, in 5 years, it's going to be a very awesome. I see that the company's going to break ground within the next few weeks or months. I see people coming to check out the facility in general. It's going to be very huge. I could see the news covering it constantly, or much more than what it is now. And then in 25 years, 25 years, I actually see people going into space. At first, it's going to be for, the investors and things of that, and then it's going to trickle all the way down, just like an airline system. I could see in 25 years, it'll be the new norm to go from one place to another in just 40 minutes. And I also see lunar infrastructure mining is going to be the new norm. It's going to hit the news everywhere. And I actually see that in 10 years or less.
Yeah, me too.
I also see that cargo planes are going to be really big. AI is going to be very interesting, especially with the robots. And for my predictions, I think that robots should be up there first to build whatever we need to get done, including lunar mining, to less exposure for the population during that time, even though that we're going to be building infrastructure for hotels. That's what I see. It's going to be huge. Trillions of dollars.
Yeah, I really think that. All right. Well, Christian, thanks for your insights. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Keep us posted. This is an important project you're working on.
Absolutely. I look forward to it.
Take care, Christian. And
Take it easy, man.
I will get in touch with you when I head out to Vegas so you can give me that tour.
Yep.
Sounds good.
All right, buddy.
All right.
See ya. All right. Another fantastic episode of our beloved Unknown Quantity. For Sean Key, our missing host, Tom Olson, I am Michael Lane. Have a great night, y'all. See you Thursday. Bye-bye. Ooh.